and strength class, and it is Sarah Tagg here. So I know a few of you at this beautiful hour in the morning, 11 o'clock. I know a few of you have decided to make the most of the sunshine. They're going to catch up with the recording later. But whatever you do, just do not worry if you're doing it live, if you're doing it another time. You might end up doing this in a year's time. All we're going to do today is work on our strength, and we're going to work on our balance, and in turn that will give you confidence when you're walking and doing your daily activities. So my name is Sarah Tagg, and I work for the Ceredigion Exercise Referral Team. So the first thing we're going to do is a warm-up. Then we're going to try standing, but if you need to stay seated for this whole session, that is absolutely fine. So we will be working for about sort of 50 minutes, but a lot of that we're getting plenty of rest in between each section. So don't worry if you've never done this before. Now, what I'm going to ask you to make sure of is that you're feeling well before we do anything else. So anyone who's got a particular fever or ill, this is not the time to be doing this session. If you've got a recent injury, again, have a really good think about whether this session is for you. Lots of us have got chronic injuries or long-standing injuries. So what we need to do there is just go easy. Don't push yourself too hard. So we're going to use these pacing strategies to make sure we do the appropriate level of movement for your body. You hopefully have got a drink with you. If you don't, make sure you have a drink afterwards. And we're going to be using, you can see I'm sitting on it. We're going to be using a chair. Now, this is quite a sturdy chair. I've stolen one of the kitchen chairs from downstairs. Okay, it's got a decent pair of legs and it's quite stable. And when I'm holding onto the back of it, I can stand it nice and tall. So ideally, you can reach it without stooping. If it's difficult to do that, you might need to look for something that you can support you. So some of us have got frames, that type of thing, so we can use that. I've also got one of these stretchy bands. So if you're using the stretchy band, just check it for signs of wear and tear before you use it. So you can see this one, it's got a little rip here. So I'm going to just put that to one side, and I'm going to just cut myself a new one instead of using that one. So just check it for signs of wear and tear. We've still got a few bands left if anyone needs one. So I'm going to pop that band on the back of my chair, and then I'm going to show you our working position. So if you're seated already, bear with me. But when we're sitting down, we always need to think about doing it just to try and do it properly, to aid our strength and our ability to move. So we're going to feel for the chair on the back of the legs. Make sure those heels are firmly on the floor. Push your bottom to the back of the chair, slowly lower down. Now, our working position doesn't look like this. So what we need to do is get these core muscles around the spine to work really hard. They're important for balance. So we're going to just sit up without using that chair back. And then what we're going to try and do is just lift one sitting bone at a time. We're going to move forwards into the front half of our chair. Makes it easier to sit up. We've got that long spine. And then these feet need to come just underneath the knees. So what you want to do is have them about hip width apart, not sit together like that. Okay, it is an exercise session. So we want to keep the knees and the ankles in line with those hips. Okay, we ready to go? So if you get into your working position, I'll turn my chair around to face you, and we'll think about making a start. If you've got a chair with arms only, don't worry, just do the best you can. Okay, you could also do this warm-up standing if you prefer. Now I'm in my working position. I'm going to lift that chest. I'm going to relax these shoulders. So we're going to think about how much tension we hold in the shoulders and in the tailbone. So we're going to see if we can just relax this tailbone a little bit. And then we're going to see if we can relax the shoulders. And we're going to see if we can also look straight ahead. Can be awkward if the screen that you're watching is too high or maybe to the side. So if you find that, try and angle your chair as best as you can to get the best view. Now we're going to start with a little squeeze of those shoulders up to the ears, and then we're just going to let those shoulders relax down. So nice and easy does it. And as we squeeze up, we'll breathe in. And as we just let those shoulders fall, see if you can breathe out, push that breath out through your mouth. It's a really nice way of helping release tension in the shoulders. I'm not going to push into pain today. So there's a tendency for us all to overdo it when we do our movement or we do our exercise. And then we think, oh, better not do that because it's bad for me because it hurts. So try and find that range that works for you without hurting yourself. Good. Now, once we're shoulders down, we're going to relax these hands on your thighs. We're going to warm the neck up. So we're going to let this chin drop down to the chest. Nice and easy do it. And let's lift that head, look straight ahead. Nice and simple. Let's do that again, shall we? So as if your chin was quite heavy, just going to let it gently, gently fall down towards the chest, just to that point where it doesn't want to go any further. Then gently lift it again. We're going to do that one more time, okay? So really nice and easy, still sitting nice and tall. We're going to lift that chin, look straight ahead, and then we're just going to gently look towards your right shoulder. And again, not pushing into any pain, just taking it as far as you feel comfortable. Good. So you're just warming up the neck a little bit. And it's amazing how these simple movements can really, really make the difference between being quite stiff and feeling much looser, much freer. I think because it's so simple, we don't believe it's going to work, but it does. There was a quote read out to me recently, which is turning to your left shoulder now. And it said, if exercise was a drug, it would be hailed as the miracle drug, the cure-all. And I thought, oh, it's so true. Good. And then we're going to bring it back to center. Okay, let's just roll these shoulders. We're going to roll them up and then just gently roll them backwards. Just notice your shoulder blades. Notice those muscles around the shoulder blades as we roll back down. And then we're going to relax. So should we go down to our feet and ankles now? Yeah, let's do that, shall we? So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little heel tap forwards. Heel tap forwards. Actually, this is actually a really nice warm-up for the knees as well, because we're actually getting a little bit of straightening and bending. We're not overextending. We're just getting some movement in those knee joints. Good. So still sitting nice and tall, okay? Still sitting nice and tall. And then we're going to bring those feet in and we're going to see if we can just take the heels off the floor. So if I show you from this angle, we're going to lift those heels up and down. We're going to lift those heels up and down. Good. We're going to lift those heels up and down one more time. Good. Now you may need to walk your feet a little bit forwards for this one because now we're going to pull the toes up. I'll show you this angle again. We're going to pull those toes up. Good. Pull those toes up and pull those toes up. Great. So the heels are down and what we're doing is activating those muscles in the front of the legs. And those are really important because they can help stop you tripping over things when we're walking. Now we're going to see if we can just take the heel to a point on the floor and then take the toe to that same point. So I'll show you at this angle. We're going to go heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and heel and toe. And we're going to bring that foot in. Should we do the same on the other leg? Let's do it. So if you do something one side, ideally we do it the other side. Otherwise you're going to get one strong, one less strong, one more mobile, one less mobile. Good. And one more time, bring it in. Lovely. Okay, so we're just going to see if we can lift one foot or one knee at a time. So this is what I call chair walking. We're just not lifting too high, so we're not doing that. We're just gently clearing the floor. And what you'll find is you'll get your circulation boosted. So we've got more blood flowing through the legs. And if anyone gets swollen ankles, just movement is a great way of stimulating that blood flow, stimulating that lymph. Good. So movement is key, even if we're seated. Now we're going to bring those feet down. Let's see if we can warm up the back. So we're going to take the feet a little bit wider. We're going to sit up nice and tall. You can take your hands either side of the chair if you like, or you can leave them here. And what we're going to do, imagine you're doing up a tight pair of trousers. So we're just going to draw that lower tummy in, okay? So those abdominal muscles. And then we're just going to lift this rib cage up and out of that chair and come back to that nice long tall position. So when we do that, you're going to keep both sitting bones on the chair. Don't be tempted to let that bottom come away from the chair. So now that lower back, we're just moving it. And again, just getting it a little bit less stiff. You've got it. So we got that nice open chest, nice long spine. You're gently doing up that top button of those trousers. Not as easy as it once was, my friends. Not as easy as it once was. And then, yeah, that's what a year of lockdown does to us, doesn't it? And then we're just going to walk those heels in, walk those toes in. And let's do that again, shall we? So we're going to go toes, heel, toe, heel, then back in. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Let's walk it out again. Toe, heel, toe, heel. Now this time we're going to sit nice and tall, and we've got those hands. Nice and easy does it. Now all we're going to do, draw that tummy button in gently. We're going to tap that hand onto one thigh, the opposite thigh, come back. And we're going to do the same this side. Good. So we're just getting a little bit of rotation. So this sort of movement becomes really challenging if we don't do it more. There's some sort of health conditions that this rotation becomes really challenging. So if we can just keep it into our weekly class and try and do it as often as you feel comfortable, it's a really useful movement to do. Good. So you might notice that sometimes things like doing up-belts are a little bit more challenging. So we're going to bring the feet in just a little bit, not too close together. And we're going to imagine that we're doing up a seat belt. So let's just see if we can imagine this seat belt to your right. So you're the driver. We're going to take both arms across, and then we're going to just plug that seat belt in. Okay, so you're driving. We're going to take that seat belt and we're going to plug it in. Good. So nice and easy. Don't overdo it with this one. We're going to take that seat belt and we're going to plug it in. Come back to center. Just take a little roll of those shoulders. So we're going to do the same on the other side. This time I'm driving you. Oh, Lordy, you'll need some help if I'm driving. You're the passenger. So you're going to plug that seatbelt in. You're looking at the woman who thought the newish car was a petrol car, but unfortunately it's a diesel car. Yeah, so it sat on the drive waiting to go to the garage. Filled it up with petrol, didn't I? And we're plugging it in. Good. Very good at exercise and movement, not so good in other areas of life. All right, so we're coming back to center. Let's take a roll of these shoulders, and then we're going to circle those elbows. If I put a pencil in each of your elbows and asked you to draw some perfect circles, and at the same time, this is going to warm up those shoulders a little bit more. Lovely. Okay, should we go back to that walk? Let's walk those feet. Now, what we can do is we can start to just up the ante a little bit by adding some arm movement. So I've got that bended elbow. Just helps when we're in the seat or when we're walking on the spot, just to stop those arms hitting things. Okay, so we're going to just take that little walk on the spot. Good. We're going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work, my friends. Now, let's take that roll of the shoulders again. And then when those shoulders are relaxed, we're just going to push those hands away from you. So that's where we're coming to. And then we're going to pull those elbows behind you. So we're going to push and we're going to pull. Good. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. We're going to push. It's quite a nice flow to it, okay? So think about a nice flow. And that will really help us not overdo it. And back. Let's take one more push. And then drawing those elbows back. And then we'll just shake it out a little bit, shall we? Just be careful not to shake and hit anything. Good stuff. Right then, I'm going to just get us to take this hand onto the shoulder. Now we're going to walk that hand. Can you see I'm just walking the hand over my shoulder? I'm going to give myself a nice big pat on the back, and I want you to do the same. So it's a nice way of just getting some flexibility before we start in the shoulder, and then we're going to release. We're going to do the same on this side, okay? Just walk it just to that point of tension, no further. And then we're going to release. And then we're going to think about seeing if we can just slide this hand up. Good. We're going to do it 3 times. We're going to just slide it a little bit further each time. Don't worry if your range is here, just to your point of tension and down. Let's see if we can do the same on this side. So we're just getting these shoulders nicely warmed up. So if we practice this movement, it's going to enable us to reach for things, you know, on top shelves, in kitchen cupboards, all that sort of thing. Now, let's see if we can take that little toe and heel movement. Let's walk the feet out a little bit wider. We're going to take your left hand onto the side of that chair. We're going to reach up, okay, as if we're touching the ceiling. And then like we did before, we're just going to lift that rib cage not too far and bring it back and down. This time, we're going to put your right hand on that chair side just to give you extra support. And then we're going to reach and down. Brilliant. And then little roll of those shoulders. So then we're going to bring those hands in front of you. I've got my palms together, and I'm going to take a little swimming, a little breaststroke action. So we're going to just push forwards, open out. Good. Push forwards, open out. Lovely. Now on this one, we're going to bring our hands around to the back of the chair, and you'll see this really nice opening for the chest. So we're just going to stretch out those chest muscles, and then we're just going to let those arms swing. So I'm going to walk my feet back into the hip width apart, and then we're just going to let those arms go. Make sure they're not hitting anything then. Make sure they're not hitting that chair. And then we'll take one arm forwards, one arm back. Good. One arm forwards, one arm back. We're going to do 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent work, my friends. Okay. Now, let's think about these legs a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little step forwards and back. We're going to step forwards and back. So I'm going to just show you from this angle what we're doing. So we're sitting in that working position, nice and tall. We're just taking our weight into that front foot. There's an element of leaning forward while we're sitting. So when we stand, we keep the trunk nice and strong, but we're just warming up the legs. So we're just going to push and back. We're going to do 2 more, and we're going to do 1. And then we're going to see if we can go back to those little heel taps in front. Heel taps or toe taps if it's more comfortable. Good. You might find you can reach a little bit further this time, but don't lock out those knees. Keep nice and tall. Great. We're going to do 3 and 2 and 1. Great stuff. Now, bring those feet just a little bit closer together. And what we're going to do is we're going to step out with this right leg, and then we're going to bring the left leg across. So we're doing some side steps in that seated position. So we want to keep both sitting bones on the chair, and we're just lifting that foot across. So we're getting these hips really nicely warmed up for when we stand up. That's great. Now, bring those feet a little bit wider apart again, and we're going to see if we can take the weight into this right sitting bone, and then we're going to transfer your weight into your left sitting bone. But we're keeping both sitting bones on that chair, so it's a tiny little movement. If someone was watching you through the window now, have a quick check, they might not notice that you're moving at all, but you know you're transferring that weight, because what we don't want is that exaggerated stance. Okay, so keep that chin in line with the breastbone, in line with the middle of those knees. Good. Now we're going to just gently take the arms this way and this way. Good. Just be careful of anything either side of you. We're going to do 3 and 2. Keep both sitting bones on the chair and bring it down. Good stuff. Okay, bring it in, my friends. What we're going to do is take one, oh, there's Sam. Hello, Sam. We're going to take one foot in front of you. So if I show you from this angle, okay, he's just collapsed into a little heap in the sun that's shining through the window. Never was a dog more happy. So what we're going to do is draw that toe up to the ceiling. Just gently hinge at the hips till you feel a gentle lengthening in the back of that leg. And then we're going to come up, bring it in, and we'll do the same on the other side. So first of all, toe up, really nice and gentle. We don't want to overdo it before we go into our main section. So we're going to bring it up, bring it in, and I'm going to let you just walk yourself back in that chair, have a little relax. So if you want a drink or anything like that, you can have one now. We're going to be moving into the main section next. So for the main section, we're going to try and stand, but if you prefer to do it seated, that's absolutely fine. If you're standing up and you're a bit unsure about your balance when you get up, make sure for these classes you've got something in front of you that you can hold on to when you stand up, just in case. If you're quite comfortable, I'm going to show you what we're going to do and then we'll move into it together. Okay, so I'm going to just turn my chair around so you can see where we're at. So when you feel ready, just stay relaxing there for a moment, have a little bit of recovery. We're going to just sit up nice and tall, bring ourselves back into our working position. I'm going to show you and then we'll do it together. What we're going to do is just make sure those heels are firmly on the floor, underneath the knees, even slightly behind, and then that's going to aid us getting up. And if you need some support, avoid doing that because you've got sort of negative forces at work. So you've got this push action, but you're pulling yourself back. So we're going to take the hands just underneath that bottom slightly and push there. All right. Now, once we've stood up, remember we've got to move those feet because that will stop us getting dizzy. And then the important thing will be moving the feet before we move the head and the body. And we're going to take as many steps as we need to the back of the chair. All right then, should we do that all together? Let's do it all together, shall we? Right then, you've had a nice little rest, so we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to take one sitting bone at a time into that front half of the chair. Just check your feet, make sure they're not too far in front of you because that will really, really challenge your strength. I can't actually stand up with my feet too far in front. So make sure those heels are down, and then we're going to activate the bottom muscles, which is some of the largest muscles in the body. Now, if you need support, just get those hands there. Otherwise, you can either hold on to those thighs or you can push your arms forwards. We're going to say 3, 2, 1. Push into that floor, stand up, and then we're going to move those feet. So if you need to hold on to something just to balance while we do that, you can do that. Great stuff. Now, only when you feel ready are we going to move to the back of that chair. So decide which way you're going to go and start to move those legs and those feet before you move the body. And we're going to take as many steps as you feel comfortable to come to the back of the chair. And when we're there, we're going to take a walk on the spot. We're going to walk on the spot. Excellent work. So think about creating that space between the ribs and the pelvis. Nice long space. So the more we lean forwards, the smaller that space becomes. So we're going to increase that space by standing tall. We've got that chair. Remember, you can take one hand away. You can take both hands away if you feel safe, or you can have them both there or one there. That's up to you, but you know you've got it there just in case. Now we're going to steady these feet and we're going to see, she says, I'm going to turn and face you, but you can't see my feet now. So I'm going to move this chair to one side. Just imagine I've got my chair in front of me. Let's start with some little taps to the outside of that trouser leg. So we're going to just see if we can tap out and back. We're going to tap out and back. Lovely. Out and back and out and back. We're going to do 4 more. See if you can keep that nice long trunk Excellent. 2 more and 1. And then we're going to see if we can take some little taps behind us. So we're just going to take a little tap behind and in. Good. Behind and in. I'll turn to face you. We're going to go behind and in, behind and in. Good. So this is really nice. It really opens up those hips. Excellent. And we can do this seated as well. So if you're seated, make sure you're in that working position and just follow these movements from that chair. Excellent. We're going to do 2 more and 1, and then we're going to bring it in. We're going to see now if we can just pick these heels off the floor, and it's these little knee bends. Good. So you might find it easy if you take your feet a little bit wider, and we're going to pick these feet off the floor. Good. We're going to squeeze that heel to the bottom, squeeze that heel to the bottom. We're going to do 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Well done. Now we're holding onto that chair, but just be careful this one because we're going to lift the knees up a little bit and you might knock your knees on the chair, so don't overlift. So 1 foot at a time, 1 knee at a time. We're going to lift those knees up in front of you so you can hold onto that chair with one hand, both hands, or no hands. We're going to go 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Well done, everybody. Okay, so what we're going to do, 1 heel at a time. We're just going to use this as a little bit of recovery. Okay, so we're keeping those feet moving. And we're going to do those movements again if you feel comfortable. Good. So we're just looking to get that heart beating just a little bit faster. Feel that breathing coming a little bit faster, but not too much. Okay. Right then. So if you need those hands, if you need that support, hold on now. Make sure you've got that nice long spine. We're going to tap and in. Good. Tap and in. Now you might decide to add a bicep curl. 1, because you're holding on with one hand, or none, because you're just holding on with both hands, or you're comfortable with just the taps. Good. That's great. That's it. Nice rhythmic movements. Long spine. We're not leaning backwards or sideways. Excellent. Tap into the outside of that chair leg. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now we're going to see, you might need to hold on to this one because we're going to pick those heels up behind you. Good. That's it. That's it. If the knees are very sore, just stay with those little toe taps, okay? Make the movement very small. Try not to lean forwards. Good. That's great. Excellent work, my friends. Good. Now you might feel comfortable taking a little row if we're not holding on, or with one hand. If you're not doing both hands, I'd be tempted just to keep both hands on the chair. Quite challenging for those core muscles. We're going to bring it down and then we're going to tap behind us. Good. So it's not a whole foot back, it's just a little tap and in. Good. Tap and in. Lovely. Tap and in and tap and in. Good. Tap and in. So we're doing these nice rhythmic movements, really opening up the hips. This is a really nice one if we spend a lot of time sitting down. Good. Last one. Bring it in and we're going to take that little pedal. So we're just going to lift one heel at a time. Good stuff. All right, how are we doing? Are we okay there? Yes, of course you are. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, unless this is recorded and you're looking at it on a rainy day. Now we've got that chair for support. What we're going to do this time is we're going to take some side steps like we did seated. So we're going to take a small step out, bring this foot across. Notice I'm not banging my feet together. I'm leaving a little gap between them. I've got that chair, so I'm not overstriding. Good. We've got that chair, so we're not overstriding. Now, if you're holding on with one hand or no hands, you might want to add some arm movement. So as we step, we can push and in. Good. Push and in. So if I'm holding on, I can do it with one hand. Good. And push and in. We're going to do 3 and 2 and 1. Then we're going to come back behind our chair and we're going to take that walk on the spot. So it's a bit of an odd walk on the spot, isn't it? Because we're sort of lifting the knee, but then placing the ball of the foot first and rolling through to the heel. But it's a nice way of really strengthening these hip flexors and getting us to pick our feet up when we walk. So I'm going to get you to pick your feet up just a little bit higher than feels natural. Keep the rhythm going. We're going to do 5, 4, 3. Come on, you can do it. Last one. And bring it down. Ooh, take that little pedal again. So what we don't want to do is just stop, because you might start to feel a bit dizzy as the blood struggles to get back up to the heart and the head. So we're making these calf muscles act like a little pump to help. That's it. Good. So we're going to breathe in and we're going to breathe out. Good work, my friends. Okay, so we're going to mix in a little bit of balance here now. So I'm going to get you to take your feet a little bit wider, and then instead of locking out those knees, see if you can just soften them. So we're just going to take them off lock a little bit. So just make sure we're not sticking that bottom out. So get that bottom in a little bit, soften those knees. And then like we did in the seat, we're going to just transfer the weight into this leg and into this one. Okay, so it's a small movement to start with. Really getting used to having the weight in one foot and the other. Now, what you might feel comfortable doing is taking the opposite heel away from the floor. Keep that nice long line like we did seated. And only if you feel comfortable are you going to take one arm off that chair to add that sway. You might feel comfortable taking two arms. Be careful if you're doing this as someone else. We used to get all sorts of things in class. You know, people being pushed. Because it's quite hard for us to time it, especially in this sort of environment. Some people will go the way I'm going. Some people will do it as a mirror image. Excellent. We're going to do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Remember, you don't have to use those arms if you're not comfortable. And then we're just going to gently walk those feet back so they're hip width apart. Great stuff. Now, do you remember in our chair when we were seated, we started to practice that little step forwards? So we're going to do that now. I'm on the squeaky floorboard. I'm going to come back a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move that out of the way so it's not distracting you. I'm just going to notice we're going to step forwards, taking our weight into this front foot. So if I wanted to, I could possibly take that foot off the floor. I don't want to, but I want to make sure it's a step rather than a tap. A tap means we're just tapping, there's no weight through that foot. Okay, so let's see if we can do alternate legs. We're going to take a step into that chair and we're going to come back. Step into that chair and we're going to come back. So I'm going to turn to face you, imagining my chair's there. We're going to step. Good. So as this knee bends, it bends over that big toe, that second toe. So it's a really nice, useful movement, particularly if you trip. It means you can right yourself. You get jostled in a crowd, unlikely at the moment, but you never know. And we're just going to step, take that weight into that front leg, push back up. Now, if you feel confident with this, let's just walk on the spot a moment. If you feel very confident with this, you might decide to come back just a just a tiny bit from your chair. See what happens if you take a slightly bigger step. Okay, come back. Just watch out for that as you step back. So make sure we're not over pushing. Good. You might find you only need one hand on the chair. You might find you can come back a little bit more. Great. That's good. So you've got that chair for balance and it's a slightly bigger step forwards. Good. Okay. Come back to that nice comfortable position. Let's go back to that little pedal. So we're transferring our weight. And this is where we're going to improve our balance. But we need to make sure we maintain this strong trunk, okay? So if we start to lean into it or to the side, we start to lose that core control. I've forgotten what we're going to do next. Oh, yes. This time we're going to do that compensatory stepping. So that big step forward, we're going to take a step out to the side. So we're going to step to your right. So as we step out, we're going to transfer the weight into this leg. So what you need to do is make sure that knee bends in line with that second toe, and then we're going to push back to that start position. Should we do a couple more on this side? So we're going to take a step out. Good. Push back. Notice we're not leaning. This head stays over this breastbone, over that spine. Good. And back. So let's do it again. You've got that chair if you need it. And back. Let's do one more. Good. Nice step. Good. Now, if you wanted to, again, challenge a little bit more, you can step a bit further. But you may find that's difficult for the knee, so you may stay within your range. Okay, so just see where that limit is. We're going to do one more, okay? And then we're going to come back. We're going to change sides. So I'm going to move my chair this time. Right, so this time, again, make sure that knee bends in line with that big toe or that second toe. And then we're not going to put pressure on that knee joint or undue pressure. Great stuff. So we're really stepping, taking our weight into this leg. We've still got this foot on the floor, okay? We've still got that strong trunk. Good. That's it. Stepping out. And again, trips and slips. This is going to give us the confidence and the physical ability to right ourselves. So it's expecting the unexpected. Good. So we might be able to take that step a bit bigger or not. It's not going to be hugely bigger. Mine isn't. Let's do two more. Good. Push up. So this heel on this foot is down. Heel down and back up. And then we're just going to gently walk it out. Great stuff. Great stuff, my friends. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to just see if we can stand on one leg. So we're going to stand as close to that chair as we can, and we're just going to think about softening the knees ever so slightly, looking straight ahead, and then we're going to see if we can just push this right leg into the floor and gently lift the other foot behind you. Good. So we're standing on one leg. We're standing on one leg. I'm going to show you from this angle. We're standing on one leg. Now, what I'm going to get you to do is just gently tap behind you and come back up. We're going to do 3 taps. We're going to tap and back up. Good. Now, just stand on one leg if that's too challenging. Tap and back up. And then we're going to bring that foot down. We're going to take a little pedal. Good. How was that? If the taps are too challenging, stay just with the one-legged balance. So we're going to do the same. This time we're going to push that left leg down into the floor and just holding on, bring that foot off the floor. Now, only if you feel confident are we going to take that little tap and back. Good. It's really challenging this. So just stay with that one-legged balance if you need to, and back. And bring it in. Lovely. Well done. Move those feet a little bit. Move those feet. So roll these shoulders. Roll these shoulders. You might have felt a little bit tense with that last one. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to change the way we do that one-legged balance challenge. So we've got that chair in front of us. We're going to take a nice big step to your right. So you can just let this right leg move freely. Now I'm going to move this chair a little bit further over so you can see my legs. Now this time we're going to balance on that left leg again. We're going to lift that foot off the floor, and all we're going to do is our flamingo swing. So we're going to brush that foot on the carpet. I'll show you from this angle so you can see it here. We're lifting that foot off the floor, and then we're just going to gently brush the carpet. So let's think about doing it together. Standing tall, we've got both hands or one hand on that chair. We're going to lift that foot behind you and then just gently swish that carpet. We're going to do 3, 2, and 1. Keeping that nice strong trunk, bring that foot down. We're going to come back behind that chair, and then we're going to see if we can take that other step this way. Good. Lovely. Okay, so again, we're lifting that foot off the floor, and then we're just going to see if we can gently sweep that floor with the leg. Good. Last couple, last one, and bring it down. Excellent work, my friends. Excellent work. Okay, we're going to just do 2 strength exercises, and then we're going to sit down to do the rest of our strength. So first of all, we're going to take those feet hip width apart. There's a little bit of balance here, and we're going to strengthen those calf muscles. So we're going to lift the heels off the floor and then slowly lower down. So should we aim for 8 of these? Let's go for it. We're going to lift and slowly down. Good. We're going to lift. Good. Now try and make sure we're not doing that, okay? See if you can pick the heels off the floor. That's it. Even if it's just a fraction of what you think you should be doing, let's banish the word should, just see what we can do. That's good. Excellent. I've lost count. Let's go 4. 4 and down. 3, nice long back, looking straight ahead and down. 2, looking straight ahead, nice relaxed shoulders. Last one. Whoo, you can feel those calf muscles, can't you? Okay, move the feet. Now I'm going to give you a stretch for the calf muscles. So we're going to take 1 foot behind you, nice straight leg. We're going to press the heel of the back foot to the floor. Now, if that back foot was on a clock face, the big toe would be at 12 and the heel would be at 6. So just check the heel not turn to 4. That's good. And then we're going to bring it up and in, just gently move those feet, and we'll do the same on the other side. So take that foot behind you, press the heel of that back foot down towards the floor. Good. Okay. And then we're going to bring it up and back. Now, we're going to do some work for the thighs and the glutes. So remember when we stood up out of that chair? We're going to see if we can walk ourselves to the front of the chair, but don't sit down if you can avoid it. If you need to sit down, that's fine. So I'm just going to show you how we do it. We're going to just take as many steps as we feel is necessary. You're going to choose which way we're going to go, and we're going to just take as many steps as feels comfortable before we're standing in front of that chair. Now, we're going to make sure we can feel the chair on the back of the legs. I'm just going to make sure my feet are hip width apart at least, okay? Not too narrow. Now, with that chair on the back of my legs, I'm just going to bend my knees as if I'm about to sit down. Then I'm pushing my heels into the floor. I'm going to stand back up. Now, if you're not sure about this, okay, there's some tips you can do. You can put your chair against the wall so that it's very secure. So if you find that you do sit down without meaning to, the chair's secure. So if you're not sure, move that chair now and make sure it's secure. So I'm going to move my chair against that wall. Good. So I've made myself a bit more secure. Now you may feel you want something in front of you for balance. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try that again. So not going all the way down, you're going to push your bottom to the back of that chair and then stand back up. Okay, now I'm just going to move my chair so you can see how I'm doing. All right, now this is just so you can see me. You don't need to move your chair. We're going to push that bottom to the back of the chair and back up. Now keep those heels glued to the floor. We're going to aim to do 7 more. Got that? If you can do 2 or 3, that's fine. So as if we're about to sit down and back up. Good. Now if you're struggling to come back up, push these arms down. Maybe don't go quite so far. Down and squeeze that bottom at the end. So we're bending those knees in line with that big toe again. We're not letting those knees push together. Down, only as far as you can control it. We're hinging at the knees, hinging at the hips. Good. Okay, last couple. Last one. And stand up. Good. Just move those feet a little bit so we don't get dizzy. Okay. When we feel ready, we're going to sit down. So again, make sure you can feel that chair on the back of your legs. We're going to slowly lower yourself into that chair with control. And then have a relax. You've deserved it. Yes. Good work. Of course, the other way of doing that leg strength, we did stand to almost sit. Again, like we did at the start, if we get into that working position and if you want to improve your leg strength, we can do it from that position as well. So what I would recommend is if you're going to do it 2 or 3 times a week. So you've done it in this session, and start with up to 10. And as you get better and better, you can progress to more than one set. But you need to leave a day of recovery in between. Okay, right. Let's think about our upper body strength, shall we? So once you've had a rest, you might have had a drink, we're going to sit up nice and tall and we're going to bring ourselves into that front half of the chair. So I'm going to turn and actually I'm going to stay in this position. We've got our stretchy band, and what we're going to do is bring this band around to our back. And I'm going to just show you the hand position. So we're going to take your hand, palm facing the band here, and we're going to keep that wrist nice and strong. So we're going to look straight ahead, relax those shoulders, and we're going to push that band away from center, bring it in. So it's a little bit like a press up against the wall. Okay. So we're sitting nice and tall, and again, we're going to aim for 10. Are you ready? Relax the shoulders. We're going to breathe out. We're going to breathe in as we relax these arms back. We're going to breathe out and in. Great stuff. So we're on number 3. If you think, oh, this is quite easy, you can bring your hands closer to the middle of the band to make it more challenging. But if this is what happens, you're not getting that full range, then we need to maybe loosen it off a bit more so you can achieve 10. So we've got 5 more. Breathe out, breathe in. Slowly back, my friends. Power out, really slowly back because there's strength to be gained on that way back. Breathe out and in. 2 more. We can do it. Keep looking straight ahead, chest lifted. Last one. And slowly back. And excellent work. So that was helping build strength in the arms, shoulders, and chest. So if you need to do things in the house where you're doing this, that's what was going to help. We're now going to bring that band around to our front, and we're going to take it over the palms of the hands, and we're going to do that little rowing action. So relax the shoulders, keep that chest lifted, create that tension, then squeeze the elbows backwards. So this is our upper back strength. It's going to help us stand tall. So we're going to open, draw those elbows behind you, keep that chin drawn to the back of the neck, relax. 10 more of those. Good. And again, make sure we breathe out. Lovely. Good. So we've done 3. That's 4. Good. Keep those elbows nice and close to the body. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Good. We're going to do 4 more. Number 3. Good. Number 2. Squeeze. And remember, if this is too many, just do as many as you feel is comfortably challenged, and then we'll progress as we go on. So let's relax the tension, roll those shoulders to release that tension. Great stuff. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just get you to make a little bicep curl. Make a little bicep curl. And then we're going to relax those arms, take one arm onto this shoulder, walk the hand over that shoulder like we did at the start, but this time you're going to place your hand between the elbow and the shoulder, gently push that elbow towards the ceiling. And then we're going to just breathe in. We're going to reach up, and as we breathe out, we're going to lift that rib cage out of the hips. Good. You can take that hand to the side of the chair, come back, and down, and then we'll just roll those shoulders. We'll do the same with the other hand. So I'm going to just do this stretch while the arms are nice and warm. So we're reaching over that shoulder, gently pushing that elbow to the ceiling, breathing out. And then we're going to breathe in, relax this arm, breathe out, come back, and down. And again, just loosening off those shoulders. Good stuff. So in our working position now, we're just going to walk these feet, and we're going to take that exercise for the lower back. So we're going to work the lower back. So we're going to take either end of the band. We're going to take both feet in. I do apologise. That's the dog barking. Maybe jump out of my skin. It's too much post going on today. He's done it all morning. Right, now we're all nice and calm. The adrenaline's calming down slowly. We're going to take both feet into the band. Now, this exercise is to work the back muscles, okay, to give you a bit of strength. So it's going to help you sit up, but it's also going to help you walk tall. If you ever get a lower backache when you're walking, sometimes it's the effort keeping us walking tall because we tend to maybe sit a little bit forward. So we're going to just gently lift the chest over the thighs, walk the hands down that band, and then all we're going to do is relax the shoulders, draw that tummy button in, lift the chest. So if I put two little lights on the fronts of your shoulders, as we come forwards, the lights are shining on your big toes. Now, as we lift the chest, the torches on your shoulders are going to shine straight ahead. And then we're just slowly letting this band take us back. Good. So as we sit up, these lower back muscles, they're contracting. So they're sitting you up nice and tall. So this is an excellent exercise to build bone density in the spine. Good. Great one for anyone who's been on sort of steroids, any females who are over the age of about 45. Really useful exercise for building density in the spine. So we're lifting that chest, relax the shoulders. I notice my shoulders were up around my ears. Good. See if you can draw that tummy button in. Try not to push that tummy out as we sit up. We're going to do two more of these. Two more. Sit up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders and slowly back down. Good. And last time. Excellent. Okay. Just relax that grip. We'll take one foot out of the band and the other foot. Now, if you finish the session and think, oh, we didn't do this exercise, be my guest, do 10 leg extensions on each leg. What I'm very aware of is we've been working really hard. So I'm going to put the band down and I'm just going to stretch out those legs a little bit. So we'll just lift one knee at a time. And then we're going to take a little heel tap out. Good. Heel tap out. And then we're going to leave that foot there. We're in that front half of the chair. We're going to gently hinge at the hips. Keep that nice long back. Hands resting on that supporting thigh till you feel that stretch down the back of that straight leg. Good. Just breathe out. Keep that chin drawn to the back of the neck. This is going to really help with flexibility. So if you need to pick things up off the floor, then you'll feel a lot more flexible. It's amazing how this muscle can impact your ability to reach things. Just take that little pedal again, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So we'll take that one foot out in front of you. Make sure you're nice and secure in that chair. Lift that chest towards the straight leg, nice long back. Good. Breathe out. We're going to breathe in and we're going to come all the way back up. Bring that foot in. And again, we just lift those heels a little bit. Now, I'm going to see if I can just make sure I'm in that front half of the chair, nice and secure, sitting nice and tall. I'm going to bring those hands behind me. I'm going to hold that back of the chair if I can. Don't worry if you can't, just as far back as you feel comfortable. Slide those shoulders away from the ears, draw those shoulder blades together. Good. And this is a lovely stretch of those chest muscles. Great stuff. And then we're going to release. Just let those arms go. Let those arms go. And then we're going to take the hands onto the thigh. We're just going to drop that chin. So we're looking between your thighs. And I'm going to see if I can draw my lower back to the back of the chair. So I'm getting a little curve in this lower back. So we're stretching out this back. And then we're just going to walk these hands backwards, sit up nice and tall. And we'll walk ourselves into the back of this chair and relax. Great, great session. I'm going to turn my chair so I'm facing you. Good. So a challenging session today. Very measured. I hope I give you enough rest and recovery. You did a really good job. We've worked all the muscles in the body with a particular attention on the ones required for balance and lower leg strength. Well done. Really good. So I'm hoping by doing these sessions, it's going to give you the opportunity to get outside this summer and enjoy the great outdoors. Don't worry if it doesn't, not yet. We'll just keep adding, keep progressively working at it. So we're just going to finish with a little roll of these shoulders in a nice relaxed position in that chair. We're going to take a breath in and we're going to breathe out. I'm just going to let those hands relax, palms upwards. And then as we breathe in, we're going to draw these hands into you. And then we're going to push that breath out as we push those hands towards the thighs. So breathing in, filling that lung space, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. And then just relax the hands, relax the shoulders, and I would give yourself a massive round of applause. Shh. The crowds are going wild here at Tag Towers. Great work. I'm going to come and have a little chat to you to finish off. So whenever you do this session, well done. Really good. Remember, with these sessions, if there's anything you don't get on with or don't like, you can leave it out, do something you do like, or that works for you, or just rest until the next exercise. I am going to sign out. Another great session from you. So well done. Make sure you have a drink when you finish. If you're going out in the sunshine, put some sunscreen on. Take care. Bye-bye.